So you all said some interesting things. I do want to talk about what you do um, in order to help your relationship survive the infidelity. But assuming that you all have decided that it can be fixed and your relationship can be repaired and you should continue to stay together. Okay. For whatever reason you have, some people are Christian and it's their belief that they should not divorce no matter what. Some people think, okay, Sharice is like, huh? Some people think that, some people say, oh, okay, we want to stay together for the children or whatever your reason is. Well, I want us to talk about what can be done moving forward, but I got some interesting questions or some things that you all said that were interesting. So, Sharice, you talked about pettiness. How petty does petty get?
Well, if I, and again, I don't want to go through that. I do not want. I've seen it, but if my husband were cheating on me, I'm going to cheat back. I'm going to cheat back. So, I'm not saying it's the right thing to do. I'm not saying it's the right. So, the audience, please don't. I said I'm petty. Please don't follow my.
But who would that hurt more? Do you think that would hurt you more or him more? Or would it like hurt?
We both gonna be hurt, and we're gonna help each other together get through it.
Okay.
I don't understand how you can, and I don't, he's the only man. I don't want to beat up on him, but men seem to sometimes think that, they can be forgiven and all is good. My wife will forgive me. Okay, let's see how much you love your wife. Let's see you forgive her. It was a mistake. Okay. She's sorry. She's sorry. She don't want to break up the family. It just happened once. So let's forgive each other.
Okay. All right. So some of you mentioned you think, like Cannon, I know you said that you think it's best to just separate. Okay. But do you think that there's ever a case where you shouldn't separate?
I mean, the only reason why I said that is just because I think that, like I say, it's not just for the person who has been wronged, but also for the wrong party. I just feel like because it takes so much to get out of it, right? And so what ends up happening a lot of times is like that relationship is not about to be the same. Like it's not about to just be operating like it did before. And I think a lot of times, especially the person who is responsible, like they want to just get back to it, right? And they don't have the heart to deal with what they created. You know what I mean? It's like so it ends up being like a kind of almost like being a double victim, right? Because it's like, okay, like you've been wronged and then now you're the problem. And then the other person is like, now it's even more. It's probably the relationship probably gonna be it just takes so much work. And I feel like the person being unfaithful and choosing that avenue in the first place already indicates that that's their behavior. You know what I mean? So if that's how they deal with either issues or difficult times or whatever it is, then that's gonna be a whole nother difficult time. So I just feel like it's just gonna keep. It's not gonna, I feel like if that person was in a place to deal with that, then they would have dealt with whatever was going on in the relationship that caused them to stray in the first place. Okay. So I don't know. So I just feel like it's a protection thing.
Okay. So, but what are like I know I've heard some married couples talk about how their relationship survived infidelity, and I always wonder, did it really survive, or is the person who committed the infidelity just now more secretive and the infidelity is not disclosed? I wonder that. Now, I'm not saying that that's always the case. You know how they say once a cheater, always a cheater? you know. And I don't necessarily believe that, but I do believe that that some people do have a like hard time remaining faithful. So it's like, when do you all think that, like, how would you gauge that? How would you gauge when this is the person that, you know, you need to just separate yourself from?
So, Miss Sharice, right? I totally agree with you, because I think an eye for an eye would be, you know, justified in that scenario. Like, you cheat on me, I cheat on you. But I think it's a I think like, how do you come to that point where you made your decision? Like, okay, like, do you have to know for sure he cheated? Like, do you have to have a camera there? Or if he just did some suspect stuff and you just assume like, oh, you cheated, I'm just coming to that conclusion based on what I know, so now I'm about to cheat? Because a lot of people, like Candace said, like, do your fidelity matches his fidelity? Like, is your fidelity like just talking to a woman, spending money on a woman, building a relationship with a woman, or sex with a woman? Or like, how do you determine like what when you're about to start cheating because he cheated? Like, because, you know, like, just because you say like, oh, you cheated on me, he can be like, no, I didn't, I just did this. No, you cheated. So now, are you going to go and cheat because you feel like he cheated, or do you need like 100% proof that he cheated? Like, how far does that go?
I don't know. I don't want, this is just me saying, you know, from other people's experience of, you know, you always got that person, girl, I do this. That's where I'm basing my decision. I don't know, because it's a hard pill to swallow. I don't know. I really don't. It's scary, actually, you know, living, you know, having to have, you know, all those questions, because what do we consider cheating? Is it talking, or, you know, because for me, I'm flirtatious, but nothing happened.
Really?
And I would be uncomfortable if my husband flirted like I did. But see, with women, we know how to, it's like with us, we know how, oh no, back up, you know, I laugh, ha ha, but okay, that's enough. With men, it just seems like, you know, because I have brothers, and I'm like,
oh, so women know how to turn it on and off.
I feel like we do.
We know how to decline.
Yeah.
Not you personally, like, but no, in general.
We know, sorry, I'm married, and no, I'm married. There's a difference. And I just, you know, I can laugh and talk all that. Then at the end of the night, okay, bye. You call, oh no, delete. What you in my inbox for? Delete. No. Men, you know, are like, you know, no. I just, you know, women, we know how
she laughed at me. I'm in them drawers tonight.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, come on now, we just laughing at the cocktail party. What are you talking about? No, don't call me. I'm in my inbox no more.
Dara, do you agree with that? Do you think that's the case for some men, that they have a harder time than women turning it off, so to speak, or decline? Really, I think what you're talking about, Sharice, is declining advances. You know, women, you know, from the time we're probably at puberty, right? We decline advances. So do you think that we have an easier time, or we find it more natural to decline flirtatious people?
I agree with that. You know, women like to be flattered in ways that men just don't understand. Like, all the woman needs to be told is that she's beautiful. You can buy her a drink, and that's a good night for her. Like, she had a good night. Like, yeah, I got a compliment, I got a nice drink. You know, I danced a couple of times. I had a great night. Most of the time, the guys' nights, it has to end with sex. You know, like, I didn't score tonight. You know, goddamn, you know, I struck out. You know, that's usually how the dating scene goes with guys. Like, if we didn't get none that night, it's like it was a bad night. You know, all our guys, they left the club with a woman, and you're the only one going home. Like, nah, man, I'm a sucker, I'm a loser. So I think that's how we was raised, and I think it's the sport for us, more of a sport, and it's like, the numbers game when you're dating and when you're out looking for that type of stuff. And I think it's kind of hard to it's kind of hard to turn it off and on. You just have to have some discipline. You have to be very intentional. You probably have to stop hanging with certain guys that pull you into those type of atmospheres, and you just have to change your lifestyle. It's a lifestyle, really. It's just like working out. You have to really be dedicated to doing the right thing. And
okay.
Yeah.
I like that. I like that you're speaking to the people who may be in a relationship and they think there's a little bit of hope.
Yeah.
They think that whatever their partner has done can be forgiven, and that they're
I ultimately think it can be forgiven. But for me, it's like if I was to like stay in a relationship, I would have to know like I will have to get down to the nitty gritty. Like, why did you do it? Did you have feelings for him? Who is he? I probably want to go and fight the dude. It's like I have to. It's a lot of stuff I would have to do to be okay. And like Candace said, like the person that did it, sometimes they're not willing to do what they have to do to make things right, and that's a big thing in the making up process. And in both parties. Like, for a man, he probably wants some blood. You know what I'm saying? He probably, like our masculinity just won't allow us to take an apology, and that's it. And she catered to us for like 3 months down the line. She's cooking, cleaning, saying all the right stuff. In the back of our mind, we still like, who is this dude? Where is he at? I have to see what I matched up against now. Like, what was it about?
Okay, ladies, you hear all of this.